Good day, you too. Today I'm going to talk about all of the jobs that I've had in 29 years of being in the workforce. My first job when I was 16, my dream job was working at a video store in Los Angeles. Specifically, I lived in Hollywood. So I did that for about 2 years and I loved it. I became an assistant manager by the age of 17. It was just a small business. The owner allowed me to work Friday nights after school. I was still in high school. 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, 8 hours each day, and Monday night. So the rest of the week I could play baseball. I could do whatever it is that I wanted to. I could be with my girlfriend. I could do whatever I wanted to. That's what I did. Then I was fired from that job because I let somebody rent out some videos and they weren't authorized to rent videos on that card. I had to find another job because by then I had saved money and I had a vehicle, a car payment. I got one brand new car all of my life is when I was 17, and I was so young that I couldn't even finance it under my name, so I had to find a friend, a grown friend, and he financed it under his name, but I made the payments for 5 years. Big mistake. I've never had another car payment, not a car payment, a brand new car, and I probably will never have another new car in my lifetime. Most likely not. We will see what happens. Then I went to work at Eddie Bauer. Eddie Bauer was a retail store, outdoor store. A friend of mine worked there. And I did that for a few years. They even paid for a little bit of my college as long as I got a C or better. It was a retail job, customer service. And one time in one of my classes, I got a D, so I had to repay back that money. If you know my story in college, eventually I got kicked out of college. So that's when I decided to join the Air Force. When I left Eddie Bauer, I went to work in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, at a professional photo laboratory. We processed big film, transparency, 8 by 10, 11 by 14, 35 millimeter slide film for a lot of the magazines that you can think of. Playboy magazine, National Geographic, Lowrider magazine, independent photographers. The jobs were great. I was customer service. I've met many celebrities, and growing up in Hollywood, every time I'd see a celebrity, it was like whatever, because I would see them so often that I didn't really want to give them the time of day. Example, Christian Slater would walk in often, and he was a big star in the early 90s. I would ask him, "What's your last name?" He'd say Slater. "What's your first name, please?" And he'd say Christian. I would act like I didn't know who he was. I worked there for 5 years. And then I said, this is great. However, I've been kicked out of college. I'm not going to school. I need to do something with my life. And that's when I took it to another level and I said, my next job, what is it going to be professionally? So I joined the Air Force and I had to go through BMT, basic training, my technical training, I was a firefighter. I came in enlisted. My first job in the Air Force, I was a firefighter. I liked it. It was my number one choice. However, I didn't love it. I'm more human resources. I love dealing with people, which is why I made this channel. So I did that, and then I remember thinking, okay, if I can't do this for the rest of my life, or at least long-term in the Air Force, so I may have to get out of the Air Force and go back to Los Angeles and go back to work with some benefits. Well, I found a mentor, and that mentor said, that's a good deal, but what are you going to go do? Go work at the photo lab again with a family? Because you were making $12.50 an hour in 1996. But now you have a family. He made a lot of sense. He said, get your education, retrain if possible, which it was a possibility. And then if you want to get out, but you have your degree. I retrained into personnel. I was enlisted. I went to technical training again. This time was in Biloxi, Mississippi. And they trained me how to do my job. When I got to my base, which was Maxwell Air Force Base, again, my job was readiness. So I got on-the-job training, upgrade training, books as well for the job, and I did it. Eventually I said, you know what I finished my bachelor's degree, and I left active duty to become a student. So I left the workforce for a little bit, and I became a student in ROTC again, and I focused on my master's degree. That was a program that existed back in the early 2000s. Doesn't exist anymore to my knowledge. Then I commissioned, and for the first time ever, I had a job as an officer in the Air Force that required a degree. And my job was personnel. The Air Force sent me to personnel school, which was about maybe 4 weeks, I believe. And they trained me on how to do my job. I get to my first base, my second base. I have a variety of personnel jobs. There's always good people that train with me, that train me, or that I train as well, and we get the job done. My point with all of these jobs is look at the big picture of where you are, where have you been, and where do you want to go with the job. To me, even with the jobs that I started with, which was retail, the video store, Eddie Bauer, clothing store, and the photography store, I was very happy. It was perfect for me at that age, 16, 18, 20, 23. It was good at that age, but we outgrow those jobs, and then we want something that's going to be more challenging, maybe even more rewarding. As a teenager, I was blessed that I had those jobs because I got what I wanted. How many people can say that you got what you always wanted? And that's the thing. I don't always get what I want. I've been in jobs, let's say in personnel, that I'm just like, this is too slow. It's not challenging. Maybe when I did the services side, I worked with the best type of people, hard-working people. But for me, it really wasn't challenging. And it was a reserve job at that, in the sense that it was part-time. Luckily, I had my civilian job. I also worked for the Air Force for 8.5 years as a civilian, as a community readiness consultant at the Airmen and Family Readiness Center. Great job. Best job I've ever had. I worked with service members and their families every day. So that was very rewarding for me. On top of that, I was a financial counselor. Not anymore, but I was, and that was the best as well. Now I'm back on active duty for the Air Force. Been on active duty for 2 years now. Again, total 12.5 years of active duty time, almost 21 years of service, active and reserve. The job that I have right now, it's at the Air Reserve Personnel Center here in Colorado, and it's a personnel center, my career field. However, I work with a lot of individuals who work on computer systems, and I can tell you that this has been the most challenging job of my life, period. However, it goes back to the people and the team that I work with. When you work with good people, this is what I do, is I learn from them. I ask them questions, and hopefully I can teach them something down the road. That's where I am now. My job satisfaction, this is a great week because my stress level is very low. It's very busy at work, but my stress level is low, and that says a lot because I've made adjustments. Satisfaction with whatever job, past, present, future, and you, is key. If you're doing a job that you hate and it's only Monday and it's your first hour at work and you have a full week, do it. Do the best job that you can. Keep your eyes open. Maybe you don't have to advertise that you're looking for something else, but satisfaction is very important in my opinion. Job satisfaction. That's what I've talked about, is various types of jobs that I had in 29 years. I started when I was 16. I'm 45 right now. And it's gone by very quick. I've been very blessed that I've enjoyed the majority of my jobs, the people that I work with. It's not always easy. And yes, we're going to have challenges. And I have had some challenges with people as well that I've had to supervise. But my intentions were professional, consistent, and I've learned through some of the mistakes as well. And I was able to leave that job and say, I know I was there for the right reason, and it was to do the job first and then take care of the people as well, just like they took care of me. But I still had conflict with a few people, not many. Now, that's the thing, is because I'm an optimistic person, I look at that conflict and it's made me a better individual with the amount of people that I supervise right now. This is the most amount of people that I've supervised ever. Civilian, civil service, contractors, reserve, guard, and regular active duty Air Force. So it's a very rewarding job that I have right now. We will see what the future brings because I change my mind weekly. Sometimes I'm thinking, okay, I think it's time for me to retire from the reserve. And sometimes I want to continue. I'm a very individual that likes goals, and I'm motivated, and I want to get promoted, and I want to do this, and I want to do that over there. But sometimes I'm thinking I don't have to do that anymore because I've done it. And maybe I should just focus on my Air Force civilian job. We will see what happens. I just put in for an extension at my job for another 5 years, another 1 year and 5 months. And if that goes through, that'll take me through November 1st of 2019. And I can still return to my civilian job, or I can finish my active duty time. Do the best that you can. The video clip that you saw at the beginning is when life throws you down, you get up and continue. That happened at 6:40 in the morning just a few days ago. I said, and I was in uniform. I said, let me go for a quick ride before I go to work. And I lasted 4 seconds because I fell. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Anytime life throws you down, you get up and you press forward. Take care.